Have you ever stopped and asked yourself this question? I know how much I've saved, but where exactly does my paycheck come from in retirement? You've worked hard. For decades, you did the right thing. You contributed to your 401k, you saved up, and you built up a nice nest egg. Now, that was the plan, right? Work hard, save money. But here's the truth. Most people don't hear it until it's almost too late. And saving for retirement is one challenge for sure. But turning those savings into a reliable, steady, lifelong income stream that actually keeps up with rising costs, well, that's a completely different problem. Today, I'm going to walk you through ways to build a retirement paycheck that does both jobs at once. One that pays you now, and another that's intended to grow enough to protect you later. If you're between 59 and 69 years old and you've been focused almost entirely on growing your account balance, well, this video was made for you. Let me ask you this question. When was the last time you sat down and mapped out dollar by dollar how your money actually comes out in retirement? Most people I talk to have spent years focused on the accumulation side, and that makes total sense. During your working years, the goal was to grow that balance, contribute, invest, watch it compound. But when you cross from work life to play life, the entire game changes. Now, the question is no longer, how do I grow this? But the question becomes, how do I live off of this for the next 25 to 30 years without running out? And if you think those two questions have the same answer, that's exactly the problem. Here's what makes this so urgent. Inflation doesn't stop just because you retire. In 2025, inflation ran around 2.3% annually. Now, that sounds manageable, right? But consider this. At just 3% annual inflation, a $500,000 nest egg loses roughly 26% of its purchasing power in 10 years, dropping to the equivalent of about $371,000 in today's dollars without any growth to offset it. And then you factor in healthcare costs. Those have been rising at 5 to 6% per year on average for the last decade. Your retirement paycheck has to fight that battle every single year, rain or shine, year after year. And here's what makes the early years of retirement the most dangerous. Morningstar's 2026 State of Retirement Income Research found that roughly 70% of simulated portfolio failures traced directly back to losses taken in the first 5 years of retirement. Not the last 5, the first 5. Why? Because when markets fall and you're pulling money out at the same time, you're forced to sell shares at a depressed price. Now those shares are gone, and you lose not just the immediate loss, but every dollar those shares would have compounded over the next 20 to 25 years. That's the sequence of returns trap. And it's the reason why just staying invested and withdrawing, let's say the 4% rule, isn't a complete retirement income plan. So what does a real plan look like? When you were working, your income and your savings had two very different roles. Your paycheck covered your life. Your investments grew in the background. Retirement doesn't change that. It just forces your portfolio to take over both jobs. You still need reliable income showing up every month, and you still need a portion of your money growing so your purchasing power doesn't erode over time. Where most people go wrong is blending those two jobs together. They either get overly conservative and park everything in safe assets, which quietly loses ground to inflation, or they stay fully exposed to the market and end up pulling income from volatile assets, which creates stress and bad timing decisions when markets drop. Now, neither approach works long term. The real solution is giving each dollar a clear job. So first, build a foundation of reliable income that doesn't depend on market performance. Then position the rest of the portfolio for growth, not to fund today's lifestyle, but to create future income increases. That's how you turn a portfolio into something that actually behaves like a paycheck. Everything starts here. So before we talk about growth, return, or market performance, we focus on one thing: making sure your core lifestyle is covered by reliable income. This is your personal pension-like foundation. It's designed to produce consistent cash flow month after month, regardless of what the market's doing. Your housing, your groceries, your baseline lifestyle, all covered without needing to sell investments at the wrong time. Because once that foundation is in place, everything changes. You're no longer watching the market wondering if you need to adjust your lifestyle. You're not reacting to headlines. You've created stability first. Now, how that income gets built will vary. It can include Social Security, pensions, and other structured income strategies designed specifically for reliability. The goal isn't to chase returns here. It's to create confidence and consistency. If the markets drop, say 20 to 30% early in retirement, this part of your plan doesn't flinch. Your income keeps showing up. And that removes one of the biggest risks retirees face: being forced to make decisions under pressure. Once your income foundation is secure, now you can focus on the second job: growth. This is the portion of your portfolio that stays invested for the long term. And it's not there to fund next year's income. It's there to outpace inflation and create future opportunities. And more importantly, this is where your future pay raises come from. Markets don't move in straight lines. There are going to be strong years and difficult years. But over time, disciplined exposure to growth assets has historically been one of the most effective ways to maintain and increase purchasing power. The key difference in this approach is how we use that growth. When markets perform well, we don't just let gains sit and fluctuate. We harvest a portion of those gains and convert them into additional reliable income. That's the strategy. Growth, harvest, increase income. Instead of hoping your withdrawals keep up with inflation, you're actively creating raises over time. And when markets are down, we do nothing. Because your income isn't dependent on the market, your growth assets are given time to recover without pressure, without forced selling, and without emotional decision making. Now I want to talk about how to create a retirement pay raise. Most retirement strategies are built around one question: how do I not run out of money? Now that's important, but it's incomplete. The better question, I believe, is how do I create income that can improve over time? Here's how we approach it. We review the portfolio regularly, typically once or twice a year. And then when your growth assets have experienced meaningful gains, we take a portion of that growth and reposition it into additional income. Not more risk, not more exposure, more income. Now, each time you do that, your baseline income increases. And once it's increased, it's locked in. It doesn't go backwards if the markets pull back. If markets are flat or down, we just simply wait. Your income foundation continues to do its job, and your growth assets are allowed to recover. There's no urgency to act because your lifestyle isn't dependent on short-term performance. Now, over time, this creates a very different retirement experience. Instead of withdrawing and hoping things last, you're building and improving. Instead of reacting to the market, you're using it. That's what a real retirement income plan should do. I've saved the money. Now, how do I actually use it? That's where structure matters. Your portfolio isn't just a balance anymore, it's a system. One part is designed to produce reliable income you can count on. The other part is designed to grow and create future income increases. When those two pieces are working together, retirement feels different. You're not guessing, you're not reacting, you're not hoping. You've built a plan where your income is stable today and has the potential to grow tomorrow. That's the shift most people are looking for. If you want to design a retirement income plan that actually pays you what you need and keeps up with inflation for the rest of your life, reach out directly. Schedule a free consultation today and we'll map out your income design, your growth bucket, and the specific steps to make your retirement paycheck work for you. The link is in the description, and if this video gave you something useful, hit follow so you never miss a new one. You've earned the right to retire on your terms. Let's build that plan to make sure it lasts, and I'm here for you, getting you retirement ready.